My name is Adrienne. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do something a little different for Vlogmas. We're going to do a sit down video and we're going to talk about 8 of the new to me authors that I discovered in 2025. I read quite a bit of new to me authors this year, and I can honestly say that was like one of the highlights of my reading journey this year. Some of these authors, now I want to read every single thing by them. I discovered that I still love paranormal romances after years of not reading it. I discovered my authors that write my perfect dark red flag hero, just all the things, and I want to do more of that in 2026. I can't believe we're saying 2026. But let's talk about these 8 authors that I discovered in 2025. First up, we have The Devil and His Sparrow by Silver Michaela. This book and this author reunited my love for paranormal romances. This was one of the first paranormal romances that I read this year. It definitely was not my last, but I think because this was my first that kind of reunited my love for paranormal romance, it's always going to hold a special place in my heart. This is also where I discovered what shadow daddies were. So I love this. If you're looking for a paranormal demon human shadow daddy rock star sort of kind of romance, definitely check this out and definitely check out this series. Up next was another kind of first to me. I had never read anything related to rival gang romances, dark romances, but I had kept hearing about Lola King. And so I read Beautiful Fiend. This is a special edition. The love that I have for this book, North Shore. This book took me through it because I felt like these 2 characters never got any ounce of happiness. Caden, total psychopath, red flags, run from him. The intro of this book is really, really hard to read. There is straight up non-con in this. So if that is not something that you can get past, please do not read this. You just, in the end, you end up rooting for them. I don't know how she did it. I don't know what witchcraft she spun in this book. This was just a really gritty romance. And I think this was one of those romances to me, when I say gritty, they had to fight tooth and nail for their happily ever after. And even with how psychotic he was, there was times when I wanted to throw this book. There was times when I wanted to just punch him in the throat. But I kept reading and kept raging out and just totally fell in love with these 2 characters. Love Lola King. I'm currently reading the Silver Falls University series. I'm in the first book of that. Lola King knows how to write a dark romance. If you are into dark romance and you have not read Lola King, check her out. The next book is an oldie but a goodie. I don't know what took me so long to read this book, but I fell so hard for this couple, and just the writing was absolutely beautiful to me. The book and author that I'm talking about is Saffron Kent. First book that I read by her was The Unrequited. This is just if you're a sad girl, and if you are a sad girl, you know exactly what I mean in life, this is the book for you. This is an age gap student teacher. She stalks him. Both of these people just want to be loved and want to be chosen. And it's really a pick me, love me type moment, that Grey's Anatomy reference. I don't know. I ate this up. I don't know if it was just when I read it, I thought the writing was beautiful. It's like sad girl Lana Del Rey. If that is your vibe, read this book. I absolutely love it. The next book that I want to read by her is The Medicine Man. And I know that's another oldie but goodie, but I've been told that it gives that same vibe as this one. Now, the next book, I don't have the first book in the series that I read by this author, but this author wrote one of my all-time favorite characters. The author that I'm talking about is Lee Rivers. The first book that I read by her is about this man's son. This is Tobias Mitchell. Hi, say hi to the world. Psychotic Obsession. The first book that I read by her was Insatiable, which is part of the Edge of Darkness trilogy. If you haven't heard of Lee Rivers, where have you been? If you read dark romance, I'm sure you've heard of it. I don't need to spend a whole bunch of time on it. I absolutely love Lee Rivers. I love her writing. I love just the way she takes you on this wild, heartbreaking ride with her dark romances, but she puts your heart back together in the end because they do get happily ever afters. Like I said, Tobias Mitchell is one of my all-time favorite book characters. It's pretty much enough said. If you like dark romance and you haven't read the Edge of Darkness trilogy or Psychotic Obsession, what are you doing? Like, add it to your 26 and 26. I will say, read the Edge of Darkness trilogy first before you pick up Psychotic Obsession, because I believe that you can't appreciate Tobias if you start with this. That's all I'll say. Up next, one of my favorite rides of this year has been reading Tate James. Absolutely loved this trilogy. The first book I read by her was Dear Reader. Now, I will say, the first two books in this series, chef's kiss. The last book left a lot to be desired, but I'm not giving up. I still like Tate James. I like her vibes. I like her cliffhangers in her books. She writes Why Choose. This is a Why Choose secret society, creepy college, step siblings, best friends, love affair. It's so good. It's kind of like a whodunit too, because you have underlining crimes that you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. You're reading stuff and you're like, is this real? Is this fantasy? Can I trust the narrator? All of the above. I absolutely love this series. Like I said, the first two books, 5 stars. The last one, I'll let you read it and find out. It was not my favorite, but I absolutely love Tate James' writing, and I plan on checking out some of her backlists. Next author, I'm kind of cheating. And when I say that, and when I say cheating, I read this author years and years and years ago. I read one book by her. I think I gave it 3 stars. And then, and when I say years and years ago, this was probably like 2019, maybe 2020, but I think 2019. The author that I'm talking about is LJ Shin. Fast forward to this year, I read this lovely book, which is one of my all-time favorite books of all time. One thing I will say about LJ Shin is she knows how to write the perfect dark hero for me. If there are things that I like in a dark hero, LJ Shin knows how to write them. I've read 4 of her books, and each one has been anywhere between 4 and 5 stars. The book that started it all for me and my new discovered love for LJ Shin is Handsome Devil. This was 5 stars. This was the book that I read it, I closed it, and I wanted to start all over again with the audiobook, and I did just that. And even if they're not dark heroes, I read The Devil Wears Black, which is a contemporary. I gave that 5 stars. Me giving a contemporary romance 5 stars doesn't normally happen. Bad Bishop, one of my favorites of the year. Mafia, like old school mafia. Deranged MMC, deranged FMC. Like, if she writes it from now on, I'm gonna check it out. If you like a certain type of hero, if you like certain things in your heroes, when it comes to grumpiness, will do anything for their female, a little bit of an asshole, quite a bit of confidence that could easily be determined to be quite arrogant. But if those are your things, like if a little bit of that sprinkled together makes the perfect hero for you, check out LJ Shin. I have no regrets. She is definitely one of my favorite authors now. Can't wait to read more by her. All right, you guys are gonna be sick of me talking about this book and talking about this author, but I don't care, because I discovered, actually the last 2. I discovered Karina Hawley this year. The first book that I read by her was Grave Matters. This was 5 stars. This is going to be on my top 10 of the year. Psychological thriller, gothic, a little bit of horror. Who is she? I never knew I liked any of those things. Mainly the horror, psychological thriller, gothic. I knew none of that. I read this the whole time I was reading this book. 90% of this book, I was like, I do not know what the hell is going on, but I could not look away. I could not stop reading. I would text my friends and be like, I don't know. They're like, oh, what are you reading today? I'm reading Grave Matters. What's happening? I really don't know, but I'm having a good time. This was me throughout this whole book. The twist, 10 out of 10. It just gave me all the spooky vibes, all the gothic vibes, all of the, it's an age gap, it's professor student, there's twists and turns, don't trust anyone, a creepy forest. This book is about mushrooms. Listen, everything in this book would be something that I would never think that I would like. So if someone came up to me and said, hey, creepy mushrooms, gothic, horror, some disgusting scenes, maggots, here, check this out, I would have been like, are you insane? I'm not reading that. Absolutely loved it. If you are looking for a good confusing time, and when I say confusing, just know that you may not understand anything going on until you get probably to like the 80% mark. I have a hard time believing stuff, so I'm thinking like, no, is this really it? But if you are looking for that kind of ride in a book, check this out. Absolutely loved it. I've talked about this book. I've talked about this author. This is another one of my top 10 reads of the year. I'm talking about Carrie Lake and Nocticadia. This started my love for gothic romance, dark academia. I've always loved student teacher, but I usually liked like contemporary student teacher. No, give me a creepy college setting. Give me, you know, a broody man that you don't know. Is he human? Give me Professor Death. Give me all of that. This is what Nocticadia is to me. I absolutely love Carrie Lake. This is a thick book. If you know anything about me, I run from thick books. I didn't care that this audiobook, I believe, is like 18 hours, 19 hours. Could care less. I had a great time. She could have added more to this book and I would have liked it even more. It could have been longer and I would have been like, yes, give it to me. If there is some way that I could have a part 2 of this, I'd be like, yeah. Even if they just went away on a weekend trip, went to the grocery store, anything, novella, I would read it. I absolutely love this book. Love this author. Her writing is just so engaging. You feel like you're in the creepy graveyard. You feel like you're in the dark, spooky basement with maggots and birds and butterflies and all of the things. I absolutely love this book. I love these characters. I love Carrie Lake, and I plan on reading her backlist very, very soon. These are just a few of the new to me authors that I discovered in 2025. I had a great reading year. These are just some of the cream of the crops. There are others that I absolutely loved as well, but I didn't want to make this video too long, so I will leave you with that. If you've made it to the end of this video and you want to let me know, leave me this emoji in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.